Hello, my name is Kiriath, and today we're going to talk about a couple of things. We're going to talk about this funky, interesting new box game that is seemingly on the horizon. We've seen leaked images so far, but there's nothing on the Warhammer community site just yet. No doubt there will be a short video, short update when that does happen, but for now, we can speculate away, as we are wont to do. And a bit of Age of Sigmar news that at first I know you're thinking, what has that got to do with 40k? But it's, someone's gonna have a go at me for pronouncing this incorrectly, but Morathi, I'm pretty sure that's gotta be right, I can't see how else you pronounce it, has had two new models, which for a start is kind of a cool concept, and I like the idea of that, and one of them has such wonderful, amazing, lovely Daemon Prince / Demon Primarch applications in terms of conversions that we have to talk about it a little bit, because frankly, my brain is filling up with ideas just thinking about it right now. Okay, so what about this box? What is in it? What does it do? How does it even work? Let's have some quality speculation time, which will no doubt become outdated the second this video goes up, because the Warhammer community site will put up a full explanation, because that's how these things work, but we do it anyway, because why not? So, okay, when I first saw this box, it was a couple of days ago, and it was a couple of images, and they were not great. As so often happens with leaks, they were taken in a rush by a camera from 10 years ago, slightly out of focus, bit blurry, the usual leaky crap that we usually see. This one is far better. So we know that it is 2 to 6 players. We know that it takes about 25 minutes, I think. I now cannot read the time on it, but I might have got that from the previous picture. Something like that. Something close to that anyway. And to be honest, the thing that got me is the fact that it seems to be, well, it seemed to be like an unintentional bait and switch. So the couple of pictures before this one came out really focused on the Labyrinth of the Necrons bit. Well, not focused, but that was the bit that it was in frame. It was like, oh, okay, it's interesting. This is an actual Necron-based thing. Oh, this could be kind of funky. You could see the Salamander in there. You could see a card for the Blood Angel, but the focus seemed to be kind of on the Necron more, the Necron aspect more. Of course, that's just because of the pictures. Now that we have the full story, or the full image, of course, it is Space Marine based. It is Space Marine Adventures. I've already seen a few people saying that this thing could be the 40k version of Shadespire. I don't know if that is going to turn out to be true. Firstly, the branding for Shadespire and the branding for this are completely different. That's the first thing for me. The Shadespire box, I don't know, there's something about the naming convention first. Shadespire was not called Stormcast Eternals Adventures, it was called Shadespire. This feels like a different thing, it feels like a different team, whereas I would expect that the 40k version of Shadespire would at least be in some way dealt with by the same people who did Shadespire. Of course, that's just me, again, speculating wildly. This just doesn't have the same feel to it, you know, it doesn't have the same ring to it. It is also safe to assume, though, that whatever this is, we'll most likely see expansions for other races, aside from Necrons and Space Marines. I mean, it's called Space Marine Adventures. This is most likely just the first installment, the Labyrinth of the Necrons. I have to admit, I'm not a big fan of just the way it's presented. The box, at least, kind of feels a little bit cheap. I don't know whether that's just projection in a way, but it doesn't quite feel, I don't know, it doesn't have the same kind of styling that I would expect from a lot of Games Workshop stuff these days, which is kind of a shame. Models wise, we've obviously got 4 Necron Warriors, we've got 2 Immortals, we've got a Lich Guard by the look of it, and a Necron Overlord. We also have the 5 Space Marines, Salamander, Blood Angel, Imperial Fist, Space Wolf, and Ultramarine. Now, I have heard said that those are the sculpts for the Space Marine heroes that were done a little while back. It's kind of hard to tell from this picture. Could be, might not be. They do appear to come in their relative sort of coloured plastics. I'm assuming the Necrons come the same way. It's looking at them, you kind of think that they were base coated, but it could just be that, well, they came in a silver plastic, which would, I assume, look a little bit weird, which, to be honest, they sort of do. I would guess that all of this stuff is snap fit / easy to build / whatever you want to call it, but to be honest, it kind of looks like a little bit more of the same in terms of the box games that we see fairly often now, in that it is, at the very base of it at least, just a 2-player game, person versus person. I assume one person controls Necrons, one person controls Space Marines, but you can expand that out so that multiple people can control the Space Marines playing against one person who controls the Necrons. That's how that looks like it would work to me. The Space Marines are obviously allies, they're not going to be fighting against each other, so it would make sense for it to be that, for that to be the case. Card based, as you can clearly see, and sort of, I was going to say tile based, but you know what I mean. Multiple cardboard tiles is what I'm going for with that. I don't know, I'm never going to really hate on this stuff. I'm never really going to say that it's a waste of time or that I don't like it, because any game that brings more people into the hobby, that introduces them to Warhammer 40k, anything that's quick and easy to play and provides you with models that can be used in the main game, I am always going to be in favour of that, because I think it's a valuable way to try and get new people into the hobby. On the other hand, it's not filling me with excitement, maybe because it feels like, at least the presentation of it, it's kind of reminding me of Shadespire, except I already have Shadespire, and the actual presentation itself in terms of the box art is not really doing it for me. So it'd be interesting to see what the full rules are, it'd be interesting to see what they actually say it is, what sort of market they're aiming for, whether it is supposed to be the 40k Shadespire equivalent. I would hope not, just because I would hope that it would be something a bit different to that. I'm sure 40k Shadespire is coming, but I'd quite like it to retain, well, what it is at the moment for Age of Sigmar, but in 40k. This is clearly a bit different with the way that it's set up. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see what it actually turns out to be. Now, what else do we have? We have Morathi. And we've got to talk about this, because, first of all, there's two things I like about this. So, it is Age of Sigmar, yes, it's not 40k, but there's a concept there that I really like, which is an actual named character having a kind of like an evolutionary stage in the game. So it seems she starts out in sort of mortal-ish form and then becomes a giant snake lady with wings. I actually really like that as a concept. I quite like the idea of a character starting off kind of normal and then there actually being a planned point in the battle, at which point they become far stronger, far more powerful. It's an interesting idea, and I'm kind of hoping that it works well in execution, because I'd like to see more of that stuff. Again, something maybe a little bit different. I know there are things in 40k, and I'm sure in Age of Sigmar, where there will be a change to a character's stats depending on something they do, but a full-on planned model transformation partway through is just quite an interesting concept to me, and I can't off the top of my head think of anything right now that does that specific thing. I mean, I know you can turn, I know with, I think it's Khorne Demonkin, isn't it, where there is kind of a way to make a Bloodthirster appear on the field and replace a model with it. I'm pretty sure how that works. I've never had a Khorne Demonkin army, so if I'm wrong, correct me on that, but I think there is a way to do that. You can, of course, completely mangle your rolls and end up with a Chaos Spawn instead of the unit that you wanted. Or at least you used to be able to. Again, I haven't read through the Chaos Space Marine Codex for quite some time, so I don't think that's gone away, has it? It'll be a shame if it has. It's kind of cool, and the model itself just has so much potential. I mean, one of the things that's really bugged me for ages is that there's not really any good material for like a Slaanesh Daemon Prince. I mean, since Slaanesh has kind of been sidelined a little bit, there's not really been anything that's jumped out at me as being prime conversion material. This kind of ascended Morathi model, which I'm assuming it'll be called something like that, that fits the bill, to be honest. I mean, you've got this massive kind of serpentine body on the bottom half, really nicely detailed wings, to be honest. I think they absolutely look the part. And the upper body is, I think, unobtrusive enough that you could absolutely take any number of other things. It seems to be slim enough that you could replace it with kind of whatever you like, provided you are okay with doing a bit of moulding with green stuff to make it merge with the bottom half of the body a bit better. I think you could get some really, really stunning conversions out of it. Of course, there's already people who are like, this is prime Fulgrim material, oh my god, we need to make it a converted Fulgrim. I would be very interested to see if Fulgrim didn't share some part of this. I know that probably sounds a bit daft, but I'm just thinking, just the way that the tail is, the serpentine lower half, the way that is, to be honest, matches what I see in my head when I think about Fulgrim in his Demon Primarch form. It would kind of suit really well, and Morathi is Slaanesh based, so I'm not going to say this is proof that Fulgrim will be the next Primarch to return, but I wouldn't be mad, I wouldn't be disappointed, I wouldn't be surprised if Fulgrim didn't share something a little bit with this model. Even if it's just been resized or rescaled slightly, I could easily see that being a good basis for Fulgrim. It just kind of fits. So what I'm really hoping, to be honest, out of this is, firstly, that those of you who play AOS and end up getting Morathi, I hope she's fun, but also I'm really looking forward to seeing the conversions for this. I'm really looking forward to seeing them, because, as I say, as a basis for a Slaanesh Daemon Prince, I cannot think of anything else in the Games Workshop range which matches it. It's just too good, it's absolutely perfect for that stuff. So yeah, be good to see what people make of it. Anyway, what do you think of the box game? Do you think it is an AI thing? Do you think it's going to be two-player, like cooperative two-player versus, well, the game itself? Are we going to see other expansions? I mean, given that it's called Space Marine Adventures and this is the Necron box, I reckon we're going to see loads of other races, we're going to see loads of other stuff come out of this. Do you think it might be just like a 40k version of Shadespire? Or is it more likely to be a cooperative thing? And do you like the Morathi model? I mean, I think it's great. I really do like it. And do you think you'll grab one to make the fabled Demon Primarch Fulgrim? Make one of your very own. Convert it into its delicious 40k Primarch glory. If you do, you need to send me pictures. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. In the meantime, oh yeah, let me know in the comments below. I always say that, and then I forgot to say it this time, but obviously do that anyway, because that's the whole point. Thank you very much for watching. Feel free to click any of the things on the screen. There's videos, subscribe, Patreon, all of that shite. Click it if you like, don't click if you don't want to, and I will see you for the next video. Toodaloo.